Hello and welcome to another edition of Go Pound Salts, Cooking with Saltware. In this particular video we're going to show you just a straight up simple salt block cooking of a thick ribeye steak. We're not going to do vegetables, we're not going to do fruits, we're simply going to do the meat because we're going to discuss some of the aspects associated with what makes a great tasting steak. The first ingredient is high heat, so you can see that the block is smoking. Some of the excess materials from the previous use are being burned off, and that's exactly what we want. Because when you cook a steak to perfection, you want moisture on the surface of the steak to be converted into an absolutely beautiful seared crust, because in that seared crust is the enzymatic goodness that produces that wonderfully beefy flavor. We're going to go ahead and add the steaks directly to the block. You hear them quickly searing, and that is exactly the sound that we want to hear, because that means we're going to get the crust we want. You can see that these steaks are nice and thick, so that will allow us to cook a nice medium rare to rare. That's how we prefer it. But the other beauty of this arrangement is that when you allow the steaks to come up to room temperature first, then the actual temperature of the meat, once it has been cooked, maintains a much more consistent look throughout. You can see the asparagus that we've added to the grill on the little aluminum foil boat in the background. If you hear a dog barking, just ignore it. It's the neighbor's dog. We seem to have gotten a little bit excited with the smell of seared beef. I'm going to go ahead and flip these steaks now. As you can see, they pop right off of the block, and that's exactly what you want. It means you've got a nice sear. You can actually see that there. How wonderfully delicious that looks. That is exactly what you want in a well-seared steak. Another nice thing about this particular method of cooking and searing steaks is that when you do have the fat starting to rend out of the steaks, while you do get flare-up, block actually prevents that flare-up from over-smoking or over-flaming the steak, which makes an additional nice point for cooking them in this manner. We can actually take them, and we're going to stand it on edge so that we can sear that little piece of fat that's down there on the tallow, and get a nice crispy sear on that steak. So we'll go ahead and hold it there like that, and we will let it do what it needs to do. We want to put a nice little bit of crispy on that piece, and we'll do the same thing for each of the others. And when everything is done, we'll show it to you sliced and plated, cooked to perfection. The other thing to keep in mind is that as these steaks sear in this manner and the fat, the marbling, actually rends out of the steaks, it places a barrier on the salt block. That barrier actually prevents the salt from dissolving onto the steaks, and in some cases you'll find that your steaks really don't have quite as much salt as they would need to really bring out the inherent flavor in the beef. So that gives you then the option of actually using sal gris or even our black truffle salt as a finishing salt on the steak itself when you serve it, when you eat it, to kick the flavor up just another notch and to really bring the entire steak to life. So we're going to finish up what we're doing here. You'll see a picture of everything when it's done. The asparagus is finishing in the background, and so we thank you for joining us here at Go Pound Salt. And remember, when you do, happiness is just a lick away.